Good morning. This is update for July 1, 2022, day 128 of the war, end of the day update. So as always, we're going to start with general and strategic overview, and then we're going to work through the front line. So there was a very strange and sort of interesting news reported by actually ordinary Russian tourists who were reporting that they could not cross into Finland and also into Estonia when they traveled by car because they were stopped by the Russian border patrol or border guards, whatever you call it. So essentially, they were requesting like some paper or permission to leave Russia, which is very strange. And this is not just one accident. This is just like a norm. The reason for all of this is that starting from July 1st, Finland allow entrance of Russian tourists, and probably the same goes true for Estonia. And so there was probably a good number of Russian tourists, Russian citizens who wanted to go to both countries. And apparently, Russian border guards prevented them from doing so. So this is remains to be seen. We'll continue watching what is happening there, but that's in a way very concerning news. Next topic is the passage of the Russian goods through Lithuania to Kaliningrad. There is ongoing spat within EU where Lithuania does not want to allow Russian goods to travel to Kaliningrad, and effectively created sort of a barrier to it, where the Russian trucks that are bringing goods to Kaliningrad, they being sort of they don't get timely custom processing, so there is a huge lines, and probably the same is true for the railroad transportation. So essentially, they created sort of bureaucratic gate that doesn't allow Russian goods to get to Kaliningrad. At the same time, Germany is completely against it, and they basically want to allow safe and secure passage of Russian goods to Kaliningrad, whatever, like not just like some goods, but like without any limitation. So there is ongoing fight. Effectively, as of now, it doesn't look like Russia is being able to bring goods to Kaliningrad. So effectively, it's blocked for now. They probably trying to scramble ships, but status is very unclear. Now let's move to Ukraine a little bit. And so first, Russian bank opened its branch in Kherson region, Kherson region is here. We're assuming it's somewhere in Kherson, which is capital of the region. And then in a related news, Russia is switching Donetsk region to the Russian phone system. So the code for the area will change. It will be, and the country code will change to Russian code. So that's all for general news for today. Now let's start going through the front line in a clockwise fashion, starting from the very north. As always, there is ongoing artillery shelling here along the border. Nothing new there. Basically, sort of similar situation day in, day out, as we mention it all the time. Now let's move to Kharkiv. Let's see what's going on there. Here it's this sort of status quo situation. Effectively doesn't change. Russian pressure sort of has been removed, so now it's more sort of stable situation where it's just artillery shelling, and that's pretty much it there. Now let's move to Izyum bridgehead. Let's see what's going on there. So as always, typical places of attack is Dolina and Krasnopila, these two villages. Ukrainian front line holds still here, and that's probably mostly because, as we mentioned many times, is these attacks are not sort of, let's say, full force. They more like a distraction. And second, Russian army does not have enough troops to attack at this with the same strengths at the two places, right? Because we'll discuss Lysychansk area. That's where the majority of Russian troops are concentrated. So because of that, there's not enough troops to create similar concentration here and sort of kind of try to hammer through towards Slavyansk, because that's the objective right now. This town, Slavyansk. Now let's move to Lysychansk area and Popasna area. Let's see what's going on there. Actually, surprisingly, Russian troops didn't gain much on July 1st. Effectively, fighting is still going on around this Lysychansk oil refinery. This is the area, and the Russian troops are trying to expand towards west, a little bit towards north, this village Zvtilodarsk, but they were not able to expand their sort of foothold area. Also, strong attacks towards Spirne without success as well. So more or less the front line holds here. That really doesn't, in our assessment, it doesn't really mean that sort of things are stable by any means. All this means is just Ukrainian resistance is a little bit stiffer, and probably it's being this is to buy time to withdraw troops from here, from this semi-encircled area. But that's only reasonable, like sort of, let's say, common sense explanation. Their other sort of very bad explanation is that Ukrainian command is trying to hold to Lysychansk for political reasons, which really is not the right choice given the situation in Ukrainian army. Russian sources, they also reported that they landed here. They created bridgehead at Privila, this village at the very north. Sounds to us that this is more like a commando forces or reconnaissance forces, so which sort of makes sense. All of Ukrainian forces are tied up here. There is not much focus there, and given that this whole area is going to be probably evacuated in we don't know, 2-3 days, 1 day, 5 days, but this is the days of this place are numbered. As they say, the writing is on the wall, right? So it's just a question of time, how quickly it's going to happen, and how many losses are going to be had in the process of it. So, but that's what we don't have any confirmation that Privila is in Russian hands. So this could be totally false information. Now let's move a little bit south, more sort of to Popasna area. The Russian troops are trying to actively attack this village Pokrovske, which apparently they deem key to Ukrainian defenses and their ability to attack Bakhmut, because that's the objective of the troops that are here. Their next objective is this town Bakhmut here. Now let's move a little bit more. Let's actually look how quickly the this progression of defense of Lysychansk is happening. So this is their initial front line on June 25th. Then this is what's happening next day, small sort of dance. Then this is the really big advance, essentially collapse of Ukrainian defenses and a large Russian advance on June 27. And essentially they have not made much more progress in action since June 27. There was some marginal progress. We'll see. This is around the oil refinery, right? So they managed to capture this parts of this village, Verkhnyo-Kamenka, this railroad station that's essentially probably serves this village Zlotarivka as well. So, and probably this glass factory here. Then actually Ukrainian troops managed to maintain small counterattack, and they managed to gain control of this rubber products factory here. And there is also like food processing gelatin factory here, which now also in control of Ukrainian forces. So they kind of like a cornerstones of the defense position here. But again, this move, if this move is kind of pulling yourself in more into trap, unless you're actually planning something bigger, right? Which we're pretty sure Ukrainian troops are not, because they're not capable of doing that. So it's as we discussed, it's a binary situation. You either attack and do something much more deeper. You're trying to advance and creating sort of panic of in the Russian troops here and force their withdrawal, or you don't do this kind of moves because they don't serve anything essentially. Because your goal is to then safely and securely get out of this place, and you're just increasing your sort of the lengths of your travel to get out of this area. So from that perspective, this move is totally counterproductive in our opinion. Now let's move a little bit more even south of the Popasna area. So again, Wagner mercenaries trying to kind of advance from this. From the Kaliningrad village, which they essentially control. Ukrainian troops essentially on the outskirts of it. And then they continue trying to close this tiny pocket around the power plant that's located here. And then also town Novoluhansk that's sort of related to it. But so far without any success. Now let's keep going south. Now we're going to look at the situation west of Donetsk. Situation there is stable, on hold. Regular viewers understand why, because all of the Russian troops have been pulled, all battle-capable troops have been pulled to Lysychansk, Popasna area. The same is true for Ukrainian side, so they basically mirror opposite of each other. So this area is essentially artillery shelling. And then now let's jump to quickly to Zaporizhia front line. Exactly the same. What's going on west of Donetsk? What's going on east of Kharkiv? It's basically on pause, on hold. Then let's jump to Kherson region. And the situation is exactly the same. There is no difference. Everything is on pause here. So if we actually look at this situation, let's say the war sort of starts the way it is right now, for whatever reason, right? We don't have sort of crystal ball, but let's say, right? So we can even say that in that case, Russia really achieved its sort of minimal objectives so far, and they essentially satisfied with what they get, because the most important part, they created this land bridge to Crimea, right? Because before it was sort of locked, and there was actual bridge that was built by Russia and spent billions of dollars building it. So now it's much better situation. There is normal communication. Then Russia has this water supply to Crimea, and then it actually has this bridgehead that protects this channel. So everything looks sort of, call it, great. And on top of it, Russia also got really big prize, which is a nuclear power station in this town Energodar, which is the largest nuclear power station in Europe. And so it generates a lot of very cheap electricity. So that would be sort of really good basis for the economy in this area, right? So that really creates good foundation for that. And then essentially Russia managed to squeeze Ukrainian troops out of the Luhansk region. So it's almost at this point, whatever, 98 or 97 or something like that, controlled by Russian forces. The only thing that Russia didn't quite manage to achieve is actually squeeze Ukrainian troops out of the Donetsk region, and specifically push Ukrainian troops to the west, further toward to the west from Donetsk, so that Ukrainian troops don't create a threat to essentially capital of this whole Russian controlled area essentially. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and until tomorrow, bye bye.